Small red fires that burn slowest was the promise, so show me one.
I would, except for the first surprise. You have never seen one.
Not even on the darkest night I ever stood under?
Not even then, since none is bright enough for bare eyes.
How can they be the commonest star if nobody ever sees them?
Count the stars around us, and about 7 in 10 are small red fires.
7 in every 10, and all of them hiding.
Every star you ever saw was one of the other 3, and the 7 stay hidden.
Is the star next door one of them, the one we cannot reach?
It is, the closest star of all, and you have never laid eyes on it.
Never the closest one, and never the commonest kind.
Honest to the edge, the very brightest might show on a perfect night.
So almost none, and I will take almost.
Take it, and tonight we learn why the quietest stars last longest.
Then tell me what one is, since I cannot look at it.
A shrunken star, the smallest barely a tenth of our sun, and the biggest about half.
A tenth of a sun still counts as a star?
Just barely, and anything smaller never lights its fire at all.
Why red when our own fire is yellow-white?
A small fire runs cool, and cool fires glow red where hot ones glow white.
Cool and red, so how much light does one give?
The biggest give under a tenth of our sunlight, the smallest under a thousandth.
1,000th. No wonder nobody has seen one.
Dim and cool and small, and each of those words is why it lasts.
Being dim is a reason to last longer?
It means slow burning, and a slow fire stretches its fuel for ages.
Stretched how far before I believe you?
Enough that the number needs earning, so let me earn it.
Earn it, because a slow fire still sounds like an excuse.
Its own weight squeezes it only gently, and a gentle squeeze burns slowly.
Our sun squeezes harder and burns faster.
Far faster, and that is only the first of 2 tricks the misers have.
Misers, so they are stingy with their fuel.
By nature, yes, and the second trick is stranger. They stir the whole pantry.
Stir it how, when a star is only a ball of fire?
Like soup, the whole of it churning, so every crumb visits the hot middle.
And our sun does not churn like that?
Only its outer skin churns, so it eats the middle of the pantry and stops.
Leaves most of the food and still burns out.
Under a tenth of its store, while the smallest fires eat nearly every crumb.
A gentle fire with a full pantry, eating every crumb.
Slowly and completely, and that is how the quietest star lasts longest.
Then the number, how long does a small red fire burn?
The honest way to say it is in ages of the universe, so here goes.
Here it comes, and I'm ready to count in ages.
1 age is all of time so far, not yet 14,000 million years.
14,000 million as a single tick?
Our sun gets about 10,000 million years of shining under 1 age.
Less than 1 age, and the small red fires get more?
The biggest of them is promised several ages at the least.
Several for the biggest, so what do the smallest get?
Hundreds of ages of the universe at the least for the smallest of them.
Hundreds of all that ever happened, laid end to end.
And still burning at the far end for the smallest burn, slowest of all.
Is that measured or is that another model?
Weighed and timed, and the rest is division, so that much is ink.
Ink, and I have not even asked the big question yet.
Ask it now that the distance is on the table where it belongs.
Has a small red fire ever burned out? Anywhere? Ever?
Not one, and the next rung shows why that is ink and not a boast.
Show me why, because not one sounds like a boast.
Take every small red fire ever lit from the first starlight to tonight.
Since the very first, that is a lot of fires.
The oldest have burned for nearly the whole age of the universe.
Nearly 1 age, when the shortest of them was promised several.
2 bars, the short one all of time so far, the long one the shortest promise.
All of time so far, not even reaching the end of the long one.
Not close, so even the oldest small red fire is far from its end.
Then none has reached the end, not even the biggest.
Not one, anywhere, in the whole history of the universe.
So everyone ever lit is still burning right now?
Everyone left alone, though a few were nibbled away by greedy neighbors.
Nibbled or not, none has ever burned out on its own.
Ink as dark as any we have written since old age has never arrived for them.
A whole kind of star the universe has never watched die.
Nor will it for ages yet, which is the patient part of the promise.
Last night you said the final first light would be one of these.
I did, and here is the other half, likely among the last still shining.
Among the last, after every star I could ever name?
The stars anyone can name go out first, long before the small fires notice.
Even the brightest, the ones whole cultures named?
Especially those, for the brightest burn fastest, and bright means big.
So the sky I know is the short story.
The long one belongs to fires you cannot see, and its last page is small and red.
The last light anywhere, made by a star nobody ever saw.
The quiet joke of the whole sky, the dimmest fire wins.
The dimmest wins, so the smallest gets the last word.
The last word, spoken by a fire that was never once loud.
Then tell me how a fire like that finally ends.
Nobody has ever seen that, so the next rung is pencil from its first word.
Pencil from the first word, so say the first word.
The models say the smallest never swell as big stars do.
Never swell, so what do they do instead?
They run a little hotter and a touch bluer near the end, then quietly dim.
A red fire going blue before it dims sounds made up.
Unseen rather than made up, since none has ever got there to show us.
What do the models lean on if nobody has watched it?
Tested physics from stars we can see, run forward past where any fire has gone.
So somebody has to guess how the stirring stops.
How the churning eases as the pantry empties, and how the last fuel burns.
And the biggest of the small fires, do they swell?
A modest puff, say the models, nothing like a giant, and pencil too.
And after the dimming, where does a fire like that go?
Most likely to a quiet ember, the page we turned a few nights ago.
An unseen ember, from a fire nobody has ever seen die.
Pencil laid on pencil, held honest, and held hundreds of ages away.
Has anything landed this year that changes the small fires?
Plenty of new pages about them, and none touches how long they burn.
Then run the compass, so I know what I am holding.
Ink on the count and on the hiding, 7 in 10, and almost none for bare eyes.
Ink on the misers and their stirred pantry?
Measured ink in stars we can see, and the ages are ink rounded down.
And ink on the one that matters, that none has died?
The darkest ink of the night, because it is only division.
Pencil on the old age, every word of it.
Agreed, and look again at the 7 small fires and 3 of the rest.
7 of every 10 hiding, and I cannot unsee that.
Nor the 2 bars, all of time so far against the shortest promise.
Every day there has been, and not one of them finished.
That is the compass, ink where we counted and pencil where nobody has looked.
Bring me back to tonight. Where are they right now?
All around this ship, most of our neighbors, though the window shows almost none.
None of them, and every one of them burning.
Everyone ever lit, first and last alike, still burning tonight.
The patient ones, outlasting all the loud ones.
Patience turns out to be its own kind of brightness, and they have the most.
My turn to fold it, one small sentence.
Go on, and I will keep the ink and pencil where they belong.
The sky saves its longest stories for its smallest tellers.
Folded true, and every one of those tellers is still mid-sentence.
All of them mid-sentence, and I have never seen one.
Unseen and unfinished, a finer thing to know than most things seen.
I feel quieter than last night, and I think that is right.
Quiet is what patience sounds like, and you learned it tonight.
Lucky again, alive while every one of them is still lit.
Lucky and early both, the way it has been all season.
The tease now, because you have never once forgotten it.
Next time, the only thing still standing, so subscribe and come with us.